When people ask me what I do, I often say that being a coach is like walking alongside a leader and their team for a very specific period of time, often through times of transition and change, which can be challenging and difficult. I think it was Emily Dickinson who once said, "A problem is often sorted by a long walk around the lake." And if we're lucky, my clients and I get out and we walk in the landscape together. If you and I were walking together now, I'd be really interested to know about the people, the places and the events that have shaped you and informed your thinking about who you are as a leader and what impact you have in the organisations in which you work. I remember interviewing a newly appointed CEO a few years ago, and I was really struck by what she said. She changed from being a manager into a leader in her organisation. And she said, "You know, when I was a manager, the only thing that was important was what I did every day. And now I'm a leader. All that matters is who I am." I grew up in a small farming community in North Yorkshire on the edge of the Cumbrian Fells, which gave me a love of dry stone walls and the open spaces between them. From my mother, I inherited a great love of poetry. From my father, I inherited a richness of the oral tradition of storytelling. He was a mischievous man, but we always were able to make meaning of what had happened to us every day or every week with his sense of humour and storytelling. My name, Georgina, literally means girl from the farm, and as you can see, in some small ways I've returned to my roots. I live in Hampshire now, surrounded by animals and the open landscapes, to which I love returning after a long day in London. My first degree was in contemporary dance and theatre. The choreography of Martha Graham, Merce Cunningham and Twyla Tharp really made a big impact on me and remain with me still. It was from watching Merce Cunningham and his dancers rehearse on stage, with me sitting up on a balcony watching them from on high so I could really see the dynamics of what was going on, that really began to give me my first lessons in understanding group dynamic. The art of choreography really gave me my first lessons in non-verbal dynamics, in how we communicate with our bodies, and how a story unfolds amongst a cast of characters on stage. How, in fact, the invisible is made visible. How the inner world of the imagination is stitched together with the outer world of performance. Watching, observing, listening, looking at the patterns and weaving together the narrative are all the tools of my trade. There are two other events that really shaped me and informed my coaching practice today. The first was going to South Africa, staying for 7 years to teach non-racial educational programmes. During the 1980s, in that turbulent time in the country's history, it taught me that anything was possible and that it was important to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. That lesson served me well when I returned to England and worked for 10 years in the corporate and professional services arena. The second thing that impacted me hugely over the last 10 years was taking a master's degree in coaching and organisational development. That taught me to look at the world through a systemic lens and gave me the choreography for my coaching practice today.